Far beyond the northern seas, where the water turns black and the sky rarely clears, the Vikings believed the ocean held secrets older than the gods themselves. The northern sailors feared storms, they feared sea monsters, but above all they feared the abyss. The abyss was a part of the ocean where the water became darker than night itself. Even during daylight, the surface reflected no light. The sea there looked like an endless pit stretching deep beneath the world. No ship that sailed directly into the abyss ever returned. Old Norse sailors told stories of strange currents pulling ships downward and massive shadows moving beneath the water. Some said the abyss was simply a place where the sea became dangerously deep. But the oldest sagas told a different story. They said the abyss was not empty. Something lived there, something ancient, something powerful enough to command the ocean itself. The sagas called it the god of the abyss. Long before the Viking clans ruled the northern coasts, the creature had slept beneath the deepest trenches of the sea. Even the sea monsters feared it. But when the creature moved, the ocean itself obeyed. For centuries the abyss remained silent until the storms began. Along the northern coastline, fishermen noticed the tides behaving strangely. Massive waves crashed against the cliffs even when the wind was calm. Entire fleets disappeared overnight. And sometimes, when the sky was completely clear, the sea would suddenly split open as if something enormous had moved beneath it. In the harbor city of Stormhaven, a warrior named Bjorn Tidebreaker watched the ocean carefully. Bjorn had spent most of his life sailing the northern seas. He had faced storms that shattered fleets and once fought a sea serpent that nearly dragged his ship beneath the waves. But this was different. The ocean felt alive. One night the sea became perfectly still. No wind, no waves. Even the seagulls disappeared from the sky. Bjorn climbed the harbor cliffs overlooking the dark water. Something was wrong. The sea began sinking. At first the movement was slow, then faster. The water collapsed inward as a massive whirlpool formed far beyond the harbor. The ocean opened like a wound, then something rose from the darkness. At first Bjorn thought it was a mountain rising from beneath the sea, but mountains do not move. The massive shape continued rising. Water poured from its enormous body as it slowly emerged from the depths. Its skin looked like ancient stone covered in glowing blue markings that pulsed like living runes. Its head alone was larger than a Viking longship. Two glowing eyes opened across the ocean. The god of the abyss had awakened. The creature's body stretched endlessly beneath the water. Only its massive upper form rose above the surface, towering above the waves like a living island. The ocean began to move with it. Massive waves spread outward from the creature's body, crashing across the coastline. Ships were torn from their anchors as the water surged violently toward the harbor. Bjorn knew the creature was not simply rising. It was moving toward the land. If it reached the coast, the entire northern shoreline would vanish beneath the sea. Without hesitation, Bjorn ran toward the harbor. One longship remained. 4 warriors joined him. The rest of the sailors refused to leave the safety of land. Bjorn and his crew pushed the ship into the raging water and rowed directly toward the massive shape rising from the abyss. The closer they sailed, the larger the creature became. The god of the abyss towered above the sea like a mountain made of living stone. Blue light flowed across its skin like glowing rivers of ancient power. Bjorn stood at the front of the ship holding an ancient weapon, a harpoon carved with runes said to bind sea creatures. The longship rose violently with the waves as they approached the massive creature. Then the god of the abyss noticed them. Its glowing eyes slowly turned toward the tiny ship. For a moment the ocean became completely silent. Then the creature raised one enormous arm from the water. The sea exploded. A massive wave surged toward the longship. Bjorn barely kept his footing as the vessel nearly flipped over. The creature moved again. This time the water itself rose around the ship as if the ocean had become a weapon. Bjorn realized the truth. The creature controlled the sea itself. If they allowed it to continue moving freely, no fleet could ever stop it. Bjorn gripped the runic harpoon. There was only one chance, the creature's glowing runes. They pulsed across its chest like a heart. Bjorn waited as the longship rose with the next massive wave. Then he leaped. The warrior launched himself from the front of the ship as the wave carried him toward the creature. Bjorn hurled the harpoon with all his strength. The weapon struck directly into the glowing runes across the creature's chest. The runes exploded with light. The ocean shook violently. The god of the abyss roared. The sound echoed across the entire northern sea. Massive waves erupted in every direction as the creature thrashed beneath the water. For a moment, the entire ocean seemed ready to collapse. Then the creature began sinking. Slowly, its enormous body descended back into the darkness of the abyss. The glowing runes faded. The waves calmed. The whirlpool disappeared. By dawn, the sea was calm once more. Bjorn drifted across the quiet water on the broken remains of the longship. The god of the abyss had returned to the depths. But as Bjorn stared into the dark water beneath him, he saw something far below the surface. The glowing eyes were still there, watching, waiting, because creatures that old were not easily destroyed, and deep beneath the endless ocean, the abyss had many gods,